different time. But it's 8 p.m. here. We're going to get started in just a couple of minutes. But before we do, I think we have a lot of regulars here, but in case we don't, reminders, turn your cameras on. We love to see your smiling faces. They look like this. That's the face we like to see. That's what comedians like to see. Same with turn your sound on. If you don't have too much background noise, we love to hear the sound of laughter. Does anyone want a sample of laughter? Yes, Ann Wilson has given a sample of laughter. We like maniacal and sarcastic laughter. Yes, and we like coquettish French maiden laughter. That is the preferred kind of laughter. So turn your speakers on, your microphone and your camera on. We also like these little reaction things. If you've updated your Zoom, you can get things like floating balloons. Look at this. We're festive here. It's very festive. We like this. Jake has a great background. It's a cat in space, which is my favorite motif for cats. We are best viewed in speaker view. Turn to the upper, on my Zoom, it's the upper right. And make sure you hit speaker view. That will allow the person who is speaking to be the largest face on your screen, which is hopefully mine. Again, we are best viewed on a 90-inch screen. And if you have anything less than that, what are you doing, really? We want to say hello to our friends on Comedy Hub on Twitch. Hello, Comedy Hub on Twitch. How is everybody doing on KO Comedy? We're glad to have you here. And I'm going to throw up some links in the chat window. We run a free show, but we do collect tips each week, and they are in the chat. You can donate money to the Venmo, PayPal, Zelle, and Cash App. Cash App goes directly to Aaron, and he, tells us? And doesn't hoard it for himself. So yes, you can donate money. Please donate money. It helps keep the show running. We pay our comedians. We pay for things like Zoom and MailChimp, which apparently cost money if you have a large enough audience, which we do. And we're so happy to see a portion of you here this evening. With that in mind, I'm going to hand it over to our host for the evening. You know him. You love him. Aaron Kominos-Smith, everybody. Woo-hoo!
Hello, everybody. Here we are. We did it. Carrie and I have the same virtual background. She never gives me that as our credit.
I don't think that's a credit, Aaron.
We share this. Maybe when I say it about Carrie, I'm not saying it as a credit. I'm stating it as a fact. I just like to state facts for everybody. That's the kind of MC I am, maybe, is I no longer give credits. I just give facts. This next comic has on a shirt. I'm just going to do that kind of thing going forward. And if you don't like my fact about you, then you should tell me something more specific exactly to say. Everybody, yes, that's right. Cash App goes directly to me. I hoard all of that money, all of the one time someone used it. I didn't tell Carrie about it. I just...
What, Aaron?
I did.
Paying for therapy out of pocket here.
I know, and that's why I picked up your tab that week. I didn't tell you, and I paid. That's because your therapist is also on Cash App and hasn't told you. Cash App, the whole existence of Cash App is just to hide things from Carrie, from all directions. That's why it exists. It should just be called the Not Carrie app. That's what we're going to rename it. Happy Friday the 13th, everybody. I forgot it was Friday the 13th until Carrie reminded me. I'm not scared because of our meaningless way of numbering and dating days. That gives us a date, Friday the 13th, that apparently means something to someone that I don't understand. I don't even know why our weeks are 7 days long. That doesn't divide evenly into 365. I know, but pre-biblical times, it should go back even more. It really should be a 5-day week because that perfectly works out to be 73 weeks a year. You can't really divide it any other ways. 73 is a prime number. Who'd have thunk that 73 is a prime number? Wow. Who would have thought? 73 is prime. I've got Amazon Prime. We're all primes. Me, 73, Optimus, we're all primes. All right. We're all there. Oh, right. Transformers references, not lost on Abby, everyone. But we did it. Happy Friday the 13th, everyone. So happy to have all of you here. I like to find out if we've got anybody watching this show for the very first time. I'm looking around. I am in gallery view. I am allowed to be. That's like being on stage and looking at the audience. If anybody is here for the first time, go ahead and unmute yourselves and say hi, or go in the chat, type in the chat and let me know where you are coming in from. If you are from somewhere currently in daylight savings time, or that doesn't have daylight savings time, if you're in that one small section of Indiana, let me know. I believe there's a small section of Indiana that did or didn't have daylight savings time. Anybody? Oh, I guess everybody's been here before. Wow, what a perfect segue into the first topic I wanted to talk about. Did you guys see Donald says he wants to eliminate daylight savings time? That's that's on the list of all those other things. And I don't know why, but for some reason I don't trust it. It feels like there's some other because some of these polling regions it's an hour earlier, then technically a lot of people don't get to vote. So I'm just saying we should really keep an eye on it. Yeah, I'm on board. I agree. I say let's get rid of daylight savings time. I don't know if you guys understand why we even have daylight savings time. The whole point was that it was to conserve energy. They wanted to shift the day an hour earlier so that we wouldn't be burning as much candles and fuel then as we got into World War I, by having the day be earlier, I guess, the work day. Yeah, here's the part I don't understand about that. That means that if we need to shift the day an hour earlier, not only does the sun set an hour earlier or get set earlier and earlier as we get into the winter, it also rises later and later. So that doesn't mean we needed to shift the day an hour earlier. It means that we were wrong when we figured out the time the day should be at all times. We just, we missed it by a half hour. Really? It means noon is wrong. It means noon was just somehow messed up. And every 6 months we're like, oh, is it here? Oh, no, we're off. 6 months later. Oh, is it here? No, we're off. Oh, is it here? Oh, we're off. No, it should be right now we need to spring forward 30 minutes and then never change the time ever again. This is way too much math referencing for the beginning of a Zoom show. I don't know what I'm thinking, everybody, but I love it. I'm having fun, everyone. Does anybody else have YouTube TV? Anybody else cut the cable, cut the cord, and then end up spending almost as much as cable cost anyway, like we did, and get YouTube TV?
Just you.
Just so last week, we decided we're not going to use YouTube TV anymore. We canceled it, and then just today it was announced from YouTube TV they are raising their rates again.
Of course.
Wow. I know I'm a big deal, but I didn't realize they're hurting that much because I canceled my YouTube TV. I'm sorry to everyone else who still subscribes to YouTube TV that I'm no longer a member of the pool from which they can bill, and they had to raise rates. They're like, well, if Aaron's not giving us that $72.99 a month, I don't know what we got to do. We got to increase our rates more than 10%. Way too many math references, everybody. I'm sorry. I don't know what I'm doing. Does anyone else feel like they are married to their web browser? Anybody?
Wow.
Here's what I mean by that. Every time I log in to a website, it's like, do you want to remember this web browser? And it's like, yeah, I do want to remember this web browser. But then I'll find myself under my breath saying, you're just going to forget next week anyway. All right, I guess that's just specific to me. No matter how many times I do that two-factor authentication and I click that little box that says, do you want to remember this device? And I say yes, it always seems that it makes me do it again. And then I've got to send it to my phone, and my phone it's like the one time my phone is not next to my computer is when I'm trying to log into my bank account. That's the one time. And then I've got to find my phone, and then it's because my daughter's running around with it somewhere, and now she's logged into my Chase account. And that is why I guess someone hacked and now has our credit card number. And we're getting sent a new credit card for like the third time in the last year. I don't know what's going on. It was fun. Last time that we got our credit card stolen, they mailed us a new one. We never got it. And then we just got all these messages from Chase saying, hey, was this your purchase that you made on Microsoft.com for $2,000? Like, I don't even know what this number is, let alone this credit card number that ends in these four digits. I've never seen those 4 digits in my life, I swear. See, I sound like I'm married to my computer. All right, everybody. I'm still dealing with doctors. I know you've all been wondering how things have been going since getting hit by that bicycle in Montana. My shoulder still hurts. My neck still hurts. My arm still hurts. My hand still hurts. Not fun. I think if a doctor's office keeps you on hold for more than 5 minutes, they should have to waive your copay. That's the platform I'm running on. If you want to vote for me, you won't be able to because the polling site closes an hour earlier now. But you should you should elect me. Yeah, I had to get an MRI, and my doctor wanted me to get an MRI of my neck just to see what was going on, and it got denied by my insurance. They said I needed pre-certification. Love that word, pre-certification. I don't even know what is there such a thing as pre-certification would have been the insurance company saying yes to it before I even saw the doctor. Like, hey, clean slate, whatever you want to do. You got the green light from us. Just go for it. You want an MRI? Great. You want an X-ray? Great. You want to buy your own treadmill? Go for it. You got the green light. You are pre-certified to do whatever you want. That's a pre-certification. Also, isn't the certification that my doctor ordered it? Isn't that all you need to know? This is what my doctor wants. Are you afraid that like I'm trying to two-time the system here or like double dip? Like, what? Look, if I was getting like another MRI like every day and I just happen to own an MRI facility, yeah, then I could see being skeptical insurance. But no, this feels like it's just unnecessary. They did say that I should probably do 6 weeks of physical therapy first. I was like, yeah, we don't know what the problem is, insurance. That's why my doctor wants an MRI of my neck, and why a different doctor wanted an MRI of my shoulder. Because if it's a shoulder problem, we'll fix it. If it's a neck problem, we'll fix that. Like, you can't just tell me to get physical therapy. I can't just like walk into the physical therapist and, hey, what brings you here today? Fix all of it. Everything. That 8 to 9 minutes you spend working on me, just fix head to toe and work on the other guy, and my insurance has got it. Let's do it, everyone. Oh man, that was a fun rant I've had to open up this show. Yeah, this has been fun. Vote for me. We're gonna keep the time where it should be. We've got an amazing show for all of you guys. I am excited. We've got so many great comics coming to us from hotel rooms, from apartments, from everywhere. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to get the show rocking and rolling right now. I'm going to bring up this comic. He is over in Pennsylvania, where all good comedy survives, and we're all would-be assassins go to McDonald's. I'm so excited for this comic right now. He is absolutely hilarious. We've got him back on the show. Let's hear right now from Mr. Peter Garachi. Everybody, let him hear it.
Thank you guys for having me. Yeah, I drove from New York City to Pennsylvania. I went to McDonald's as soon as I got to PA, and the vibes are real. I felt it as soon as I got here. I'm 2 hours from Altoona, like where they got my buddy Luigi, and I just sensed it as soon as I crossed the state line. It's funny. I did this show like a year ago, I'm thinking about, and I remember the comic who went after me started his set by saying like, "Oh, that was really great what Peter said." Like, it wasn't particularly the jokes, but like the order of what he said was funny. And I realized that I winged it and I didn't record it, so I have no idea what I said or what order. So that's just completely gone. So I have index cards that are numbered right now next to me, so maybe I can preserve. And no matter what, I mean, I have a show after this, so I'm wearing pants because I have to run out right after. But I'll just get the bomb out of the way. We'll see how this goes. I made my my therapist laugh earlier this week on Zoom, so I'm feeling pretty confident that this is going to go pretty well. I am Italian from New Jersey. I live in New York City, and I will say this whole, I've been fascinated by this whole like assassination thing. I think it's funny living in New York City and people go, "Oh, a targeted assassination. Thank God. I thought the streets were not safe." I feel so much better knowing that I don't have to worry about being assassinated in the streets of New York City. But I will say, like, my spider senses are a little tingly. Like, I don't know a lot, but when it comes to Italians from the Northeast, like, I'm a dog in the airport. I'm sniffing it out. I'm finding stuff. Something doesn't seem right. And I'll tell you why. Both my parents are from Sicily. I have tons of cousins, aunts, uncles. There's not one person in my family named Luigi Manicotti. Like, that's a fact. That's a name. Some kid playing video games at the CIA, they were like, here, you got an hour to come up with a name. And he's like, Luigi, Mario, Manicotti. Like, there's no Tony Baloney's in my whole family. Like, it doesn't seem right. Imagine if God forbid, if the assassin was Chinese and they were like, yeah, his name is Ching Chong Chang. Like, there was no way this could be real. I don't buy it. So something doesn't smell right. I could be wrong, but that's my sense. So I'm doing a show tonight in the Mohegan Sun in Pennsylvania.
Nice.
It's in a casino.
Cool.
And I don't gamble. So I quit gambling 12 years ago. I used to have a bad gambling problem. So the only time I ever get anywhere near a casino is to do this one comedy club, because I'm friends with the owners of the club have been very good to me. And I've been here for an hour. I checked into the hotel, and I'm happy to say I'm already up $500. And the show hasn't even started yet. But no, I don't gamble anymore. And it's funny, gambling is an interesting addiction, because it's the only one where they give you a lot of nice free stuff if you keep doing it. You ever notice that? Like, I've never been in a heroin game, but I can't imagine anyone being like, hey, Steve, come on down to Heroin Hotel. We got a suite for your friends. Like, no one's getting a free steak at the crack house. Like, just keep coming, keep coming. And gambling's funny too, because gambling's the only addiction where you tell people you don't do it anymore. They tell you how you did it wrong. Like, because everyone's sports betting now. Everyone is gambling on their phone. So I tell people, like, they're like, oh, dude, I'm on FanDuel and I got blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, no, I don't gamble. They're like, oh, no, I got a system. I'm like, oh, okay. Is that why? Is that you're the genius that figured it out? It's like being like, oh, no, I clean my needle. That's how I do heroin. You clearly weren't doing it right. You got to learn to do it. I have a system for shooting up in an alley. You're not doing it. Let me look at my little index cards. It's not bad. That feels pretty good.
The heroin alley bit, yeah.
Targeted assassination, not so bad. I was doing a show and a lady yelled out, "You've got OCD." And I was like, "What?" She's like, "Yeah, you're OCD." And I thought about it and I was like, people have this idea of OCD. It's like, oh, you wash your hands 100 times a day. And I haven't washed my hands since 2021. Like, that's done. We're not doing it anymore. So that's not what I was thinking about it, because it's obsessive thoughts, right? It's obsessive thinking. And I was thinking about it. I have my best friend. We've been friends since we were 14 years old. About 10 years ago, we went out to some club and he was wearing a white Lacoste shirt. The kind of like polo shirt I'm talking about? They're like $150 shirt. And it was really cool. He looked really cool. And he spilled red wine on the shirt while we were out. Man, that stinks. He's like, yeah, this stinks. I'm probably going to have to throw this shirt away. Now, fast forward 10 years. We've never spoken about this. This guy he has like 2 businesses. He's extremely successful. He's got plenty of money. I'm sure he's never thought once about that night. I can't stop thinking about that freaking Lacoste shirt. Like, that's OCD. That's what obsessive thoughts. I'm like, maybe we can spot treat it. Like, there's got to be, maybe we can get some soda. There's got to be a way to fix this.
Oxy.
Yeah, you're right. Now there's all these solutions that didn't. People are like, oh, I would go back in time and shoot baby Hitler. I would go back in time and spot treat this Weinstein.
Thank you. Yeah. Yes.
I don't know if you can't see it, but I put some weight on during the pandemic, before the pandemic, and after the pandemic. And listen, we were told the world was ending, and KFC stepped up their game. I don't know why. Apocalypse Chicken was out of this world. I don't know why it got better as the world was ending, but you're allowed to go through that drive-through and just circle back and just go through again. Like, there's nothing they can do to stop you. And yeah, I have what I call reverse body dysmorphia. Body morphia, if you will. I assume I look great. And then I see a photo and I'm like, oh no, the Wendy's is working. Something is happening here. Why is it a diagonal from my chin to my neck? There's not a right angle anywhere under there. I don't know what's going on. I want to lose weight. I'm just not willing to diet and or exercise. Anyone else?
No.
Positive
So
vibes?
gross. No.
I do. I do feel like I hit rock bottom though, and I'll tell you what rock bottom looks like. Rock bottom is throwing away your Dunkin' Donuts trash in the McDonald's drive-thru. And you think you're being sneaky. You know when you pull up by the car and you didn't get close enough, so now you're leaning out the car door and the guy behind you is honking and the Domino's box doesn't fit, so now you're driving around looking for a CVS. Like that's when you know you've had enough. I'm gonna try something I haven't told before. So my grandmother, she died a couple years ago, but like towards the end, she was getting senile, and we had to take her to a rehab, and she like tried to escape the rehab. Little tiny Sicilian lady, she was like 85 pounds, but she was like literally just like kind of running around yelling. She's like, Peter, I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to trap me. Like I'll never forget this. And then I had to box her out of the elevator, and then she bit me in the hand. Whoa. And like we were able to like kind of control her, medicate her. An hour later, she's like, oh, did you see my grandson? Look at my grandson. He's so handsome. Did you eat? Are you hungry? She's introducing me to like the nurses and like she's like, I'll never forget this. But like an hour later, she completely forgot. I have to live with this memory for the rest of my life. But the funny thing is, I think I handled it well because my aunt had punched me like a month before. And there's something about like I had an aunt with like a little bit of schizophrenia, and she thought I was also trying to keep her from going outside in the middle of Hurricane Sandy. And she's also like, I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to trap me. And she punched me. And there's something about I feel like I'm almost like the John Wick for dealing with old crazy ladies. I will just stay very calm in those situations. So if you ever have a scenario like that, you can call me. Not a targeted assassination, but I will make sure the old ladies don't hurt themselves or anybody else. I'm sorry, guys. I lost track of time. I was going to record this and I didn't. Am I close to the end? It feels like
You're 1 minute left. Big closer.
All right. I'll tell you guys this. I feel like we got to know each other here, so I'll tell you guys a serious thing about me. I grew up part of my life on a farm. And when I was a teenager, I almost broke my hand punching a sheep. That's my time, guys. I'm Peter Garage. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. Give it up for your host.
Keep it going for Peter, everybody. No follow-up questions, everyone.
Wait, punching a sheep or
that's
a sheep?
The point. It was
sheep.
Almost. The statement was almost broke the hand. So clearly the punch did not land, is what I am assuming.
No, it went. I went numb all the way up to the shoulder. The sheep didn't just kept chewing.
So the sheep. The sheep had it coming.
It was a sheep.
It wasn't a sheet.
Sheep don't chew.
Yeah, why
would you punch a sheep?
Peter, we'll book you again.
Punch the sheep?
We'll book you back on the show.
So many questions.
To come back to the next show.
Yeah, that was the time.
That was so mean, Peter. Wow. That was so mean.
Or was it brilliant? Because everyone wants to see him again.
Yeah. On social media, everybody, give it up for Peter.
Peter. There we go. But wait, I have a question. No, we're gonna keep the show rocking and rolling. I'm excited for this next comic because even though we don't have the same virtual background, it is a brick virtual background. So someone got the message that was not actually sent about having a brick wall virtual background. And Carrie and I have only said for like 2 years that we should send this JPEG file out to everyone in the email and say like, if you can, make this your virtual background, but we never have and probably never will. Let's hear it right now for this next comic. She is absolutely hilarious. We love having her on the show, the original creator of the Living Room Show from way, way back. Let's hear it right now for Abby Crutchfield, everybody.
Yay. Everybody, give it up for my weird hair that keeps doing things. If I wear, this is a unique hairstyle. I know that it looks like it's disappearing, and you're thinking, oh, she's got like a green screen issue. No, my hair actually comes and goes. I am a time traveler. I'm a Highlander, and you're seeing it happen in real time. I love when I wear a winter hat. Where are my people with curly hair? You wear like a nice little knit cap, and then you take it off, and then you've got Quaker Oats man hair. That's great. It's like nice and smushed, and then it's got nice little shoulder puffs right there. All right. Well, imagine that I have a full head of hair, guys, because I don't know if I can make it do its thing. The brick wall is too powerful. It's great to see you. I have type 2 ADHD. That's the one where you get told about it later in life and you brought it on yourself. You know that one? Anybody else? I knew I had it. This is how I found out I had ADHD, besides the fact that it was actually diagnosed. But I have my own suspicions. When I went to warm my mug of coffee in the microwave and I opened the door and that same mug of coffee is already in there. And I was like, what? Did I disrupt the space-time continuum? You're either traveling through time and you're like a glitch in the matrix, or you went to, you forgot that you already made your coffee. I've come back to oatmeal 8 hours later in that same microwave. My microwave is like a little prankster on me. It's like, you forgot to finish your breakfast and I didn't tell you. I mean, I told you when I beeped, but then I knew that you'd get distracted. Another sign is if you leave your keys in the fridge and you try to unlock your door with a carton of milk. Wow, guys. Have you ever
stunned?
Yes, stunned. That's silly. Hey, if I can educate you, well, that's all I really wanted today. I do have that. I saw on Instagram, they're like, astronauts forget that gravity exists. So sometimes they'll just be holding a pencil and flick it away because they'll think it'll float behind them and they can grab it again. And they'll forget it's going to drop right in front of them. And I have a similar problem with the ADHD. Like if I forget that I'm holding something. And then if I go to pick something up, I just reach for it with the hand that's holding something. I've dropped cups of water. And it looks really ridiculous. But then you just tell people, hey, I'm like an astronaut, you know? It's as if I have the same genius capacities. You know what? Astronauts came to my grade school and tried to recruit kids and tell them how cool it is to live and work in space. And then they told us that like the interior of a spaceship is oriented different ways because it doesn't matter. There's no gravity. And that did not sit well with me. And that's why I never became an astronaut. I was like, no, they should have it correct. It had nothing to do with my math score on my SATs, guys. It had nothing to do with that. The ADHD, did it happen because I spent every day for the last 4 years on my phone? I'm a little skeptical, because I don't want to take anybody else's, neurodivergence away from them. But I can't help but think had I been more present, I wouldn't be so afflicted right now. I don't know. Was it? Because that's a long time every single day for the past 4 years. Pandemic did things to us. Or was it the 10 years before that I spent every day on my phone? Things that make you go. Nope. My 6-year-old, she wants a phone now. And an iPad, I understand, because she really just wants to watch TV, but she doesn't like it on a big screen because we don't live in Minority Report where you can touch screens and make them do what you want. So the TV she finds too rudimentary, too analog, you know what I mean? So she's like, I need to be able to touch the screen to watch my programs. But I'm not ready for her to have like a pocket iPad, you know what I mean? Because I've shown her with the phone is that you have to have, I haven't shown her how not to have it in your face all day, every day. I feel like she has to at least see me live without it for 5 good minutes, then maybe she can have it. I want to set a good example is what I'm trying to say. And I'm trying to not be so addicted to it. I'm trying, I know for people who have addictions, 12-step groups are great. I'm a big proponent of 12-step groups. It doesn't matter what, there's just so many out there. If you have an issue, there's one for it. And the only problem I have with them, because that's just a really safe space to like connect with strangers and share, for a real short minute at a time. They always give you a time constraint, which I love about that. If only real relationships, you could time them for 3 minutes. And then after they're done sharing their dream, you could be like, we're done. But the other issue I have, that part I like. The part I don't like is at the end. If you go to more than one kind of 12-step, you can't always attend the same meeting every Monday, let's just say. You got to hit one up on Tuesday if you missed Monday. They end differently. Some, like one time, we all said it's works if it's worth it. What was it? They were like, it works if you work it. And then I was like, great, it works if you work it. Got it. And then the next time I went and I was like, it works if you work it. And then someone else said, so work it, you're worth it. And I'm like, wait, there's more? And then But the third one, they were like, I think I had it. And I was like, if it's worth it, let me work it, put my thing down, flip it and reverse it. And nobody said, it's your like nobody.
What?
Carrie did. If you had been there, Carrie, you could have helped out. Oh my gosh. That is a reference to a song by Missy Elliott. But I don't want anyone in here over 40 to feel left out because that song is 30 years old. You should have known it. There's another thing you can do if you're addicted, or let's say just you have compulsive habits, and that is read a book called Atomic Habits. I received this book from my neighbors. They were done with it. Apparently it worked for them. And I was like, great, I can't wait to be a normal person too and live my life. The only problem is I don't have a time in my day to read. Like I haven't set time aside to put the phone down and pick a book up. And it's funny because the book speaks to that. It's like you need to create a morning routine, and Atomic Habits will help you create that. That's what it says on the back of the book. And I'm like, well, you need Atomic Habits to read Atomic Habits. And I can't accept that. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Oh, I get it.
If you shut up, Carrie. If you smoke, no, I did not. You're so sensitive. Carrie and I are dressed like twins, okay? Jake, you saw me. You saw me get upset when she raised her eyebrows. Jake has disappeared. He's like, don't talk to me. You made my girlfriend mad. Carrie, that was too harsh, and I take it back. I want to backtrack. You're my twin sister. We wear red and we have brick walls, okay? I want to be like you when I grow up. If you smoke and you want to quit, you have a better chance. This is what the book says. If it's part of your identity. So you have to say, I have read the book. If you say, you're trying to quit smoking, you have to say, I'm not a smoker. You can't say, I'm trying to quit, because it implies I am a smoker, but I'm going to, for a little bit of time, not do this. So you have to just make it part of your identity. And all I know is whenever people talk about how they smoke, I'm just like, I get it. You're rich. And lately, you can tell right away if someone's rich or not by their thoughts on Luigi Mangione, it seems. You know what I mean? Like anytime someone's like, well, he took a life, you're like, okay, you can afford your health insurance. Good for you. I'm dang, I don't have a closer, but it is time to go. Let me see. What can I close on? What's new? Oh, I interacted with a gentleman on my block today. He waits outside of Dunkin' Donuts just to see if anybody wants to hook him up with a breakfast. And sometimes I do. And this morning I was like, hey, did you get taken care of? And he was like, no, I could use something. I'm like, great. What'll it be? And he says, a coffee cake, please. And I'm like, you got it. And then he's like, and a black coffee. And I said, yep. And he goes, make it large. And I was like, anything else? And he's like, 12 sugars. I was like, dang, that's a lot of sugar. But who am I to judge? So I made the order, and I was like, and all sugars. And they're like, what? And I was like, some sugar, please. And he gives me 5, and I'm like, 7 more, please. And they were like, huh? And I thought, never mind. And I left, and I gave it to him, and I was like, I only have 5. You don't need that much sugar anyway. And I ran away like a little scared lady. Point of the story is I'm better than you. I love you guys. Good night.
Night,
Keep it going for Abby, everybody.
Camera off.
I'm still here if you have any questions.
Abby's still here. Yeah, there was no coffee cliffhanger on that one. No 12 sugar cliffhanger. That just fully. Abby's like, I almost broke my fingers trying to tear open 12 packets of sugar.
I should have workshopped it with you, Aaron. Oh my
yeah,
god.
and then but we didn't know what Peter would have not told us about the sheep before, so there was no
Why
way
did he punch a sheep? I'm
we
sorry.
still don't know why.
That sheep had it coming.
Because he didn't have his 12 sugars, everyone. Clearly, that's
Right.
why.
That's
he
right.
needed those 12
It
sugars.
all makes sense. I get it.
Want to know, also, couldn't that guy just sleep a little later than need a black coffee? Anyway, that's what I would say. Also, I just think as New York City, that makes sense in New York City to see someone like that. have never met Missy Elliott, mainly because she does not live in my building, but I have met Busta Rhymes, who does live in my building. Not trying to brag too much, but earlier this week, he lives one floor below us. There was no one else in the elevator, just me and my almost 3-year-old daughter. Busta Rhymes walks in, and without missing a beat, my daughter just looks up and just goes,
Aww,
and just waves at him, and Busto was like, "Oh, that just made my morning. Wow, wow, thank you, Queen. You're a beautiful, Queen. That just made my morning." And I was like, "Hey, if you just text me when you're headed out tomorrow, and I'll make sure we're in the elevator." And then he said something about how she was adorable and kept talking, and I was like, say, made his day, whatever. And we were chatting, and then I said, "Well, let me know if you want to babysit." And he laughed, and then he went out to the car that was waiting for him. He got into his Maybach, where the driver was holding the door open for him, and I walked to the subway. Although I will say, someone held the door open for me on the subway.
Okay.
No, it was just the conductor, because I got there in time, not because someone physically held the doors. I don't break the rules like Busta does when he's parked in front of a hydrant. All right, everyone, we're going to keep the show rocking and rolling. Speaking of cars, this next comic was in one for many days, and we are so happy to have her on right now. She's absolutely hilarious. You know her, you love her. Let's hear it for Leah Bonema, everybody.
Oh, my goodness, I'm delighted. I have been in a car. I drove from Los Angeles to Charlotte, North Carolina.
wow.
We went Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, Mobile, Atlanta, Nashville, Charlotte, back to Pigeon Forge to hit Dollywood. Come on. And then back to Charlotte. I am the most tired I've ever been in my whole life. But Abby was just saying how in the atomic brain, that you redo how you talk to yourself. You say, "I'm a non-smoker." I've been doing that a lot. I have a healthy relationship with food. That's my new sentence. I have a healthy relationship with food. I am the steward of my meat suit. That's another one. It's a pleasure to take care of myself. I say that one a lot. I just got my first colonoscopy. I said to the lady, "Pleasure to take care of myself." My natural state is perfect health. It's a pleasure to take care of myself. I just kept repeating that. I don't know if anybody's had a colonoscopy. My friend goes, "Is it like a colonic?"
No.
And I was like, "Is a colonic like if your bum is a hot summer sidewalk in the Bronx and somebody turns on a fire hydrant? Is that what a colonic is like?" What a pleasure. It is a pleasure to take care of myself. I am the steward of my meat suit. The lady who, the last lady you see before they put you under goes, "It's great you come in, take care of yourself." She goes, "Are you a mom?" And I said, "No, I'm not a mom." And she said, because a lot of times moms have trouble taking care of themselves. They're too busy taking care of everybody else. And I said, "I'm not a mom, but I am the first person in my family to go to a doctor." And that was the last thing I said before passing out. He's like, "Way to break the cycle." I am the steward of my meat suit. I also had an MRI. Not bragging, I realize you haven't got yours yet. You will get it. But I don't, when you get it, tell me if this is the wrong, you feel like people are messing with you. You go in there, the tube is so white. I feel like they could have done it like a sky scene, maybe a sun. They could have painted anything in there. It's so white. And then it's so loud. You're like, I know that we've put a human being on the moon, allegedly. And you can't find a way to turn the sound down. You know what I mean? You can't, they'll be like, "We'll put earphones in." I can't hear the music. It's a wild experience. When you go, text me. I want to hear all about it. It's a pleasure to take care of myself. Your natural state is perfect health. I have a healthy relationship with food. So I picked my mother up. She's always wanted to go to Dollywood. She flew to Nashville. I picked her up. I drove her to Dollywood. I picked my boyfriend up in Knoxville. all my mother's story, also Italian from New Jersey. Every story ends with somebody dying or getting terminally ill. There are no other stories. It may start out with a story that you think is going somewhere else. It will end in death or terminal illness, which eventually ends in death. So we're driving to Dollywood. My grandmother was, she picked tobacco in Tennessee. That's what she was, a tobacco picker. We drove by where she lived, and my mom was telling the story to my boyfriend, and then she goes, they had a cow. And then I look at my boyfriend and I go, FYI, every story ends in death. This cow probably got shot. And my mom goes, no, nobody shot the cow. Pause, pause, pause. It got hit by a train. I mean, the timing on that woman. Completely seriously. Wasn't shot, Leah. Hit by a train. I did a lot of Christmas shopping because I drove cross country. Everybody I know is getting fireworks and beef jerky. I don't know if you've driven across America. Fireworks, 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 beef jerky, fireworks, 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 homemade jams and jelly, fireworks, beef jerky. That's what I got a car full of jam. I also had, I don't know why this is, so I'm traveling with my 2 dogs who are gorgeous. Angels. They're perfect. We're in Texas. My boyfriend wakes me up and he goes, Leah, there's something wrong with our dog's lady parts. I go, what? I look. There's something wrong with it. It looks like a Fiat. I don't know if you've seen dogs. That's not what they look like. It looks like there was an alien coming out of my dog. So I just get on the phone. I call the closest vet. They go, come over. This is on Thanksgiving. As we're driving, her face is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Oh, no. I'm doing the things for her. I go, your natural state is perfect health. You are the steward of your meat suit. It is a pleasure to take care of yourself. You know what I mean? I'm giving her the pump up. We're going to be fine. I get to the emergency vets. At this point, her face is like this big, so they don't look at her lady parts. You walk through the door to emergency vets. They just take your dog. They just take her to the back in case it's like on a timeline. So then I break down at the thing, and I keep going, there's something wrong with her lady parts. And the lady comes back out and she goes, she got stung by a bee in her face. And I was like, did you look at her crotch? It looks like a car. And the lady goes, no. And then she comes back out and she goes, yep, okay, I missed that because of the face. I don't know why this story is so funny to me. It's just happened in Texas. Of all the states, Texas is just coming for my dogs. I guess she got bit by like a Texas spider when she was peeing, which is like the meanest thing. It just lied in wait for my dog to pee and then got her. But we hooked her up to an IV. I'm going to be working the rest of my life to pay it off. But she is fine. It's a pleasure to take care of myself. It's a pleasure to take care of my dogs. And then the next day I was hiking. I went off the trail to pee. Same exact thing happened to me. So it's been a real treat, this trip. I don't know. I love Christmas. I'm a huge Christmas fan. That's why I went to Dollywood at Christmas. I don't know if you've been. A lot of Christmas music. Fantastic. I actually wrote a Christmas book. Just came out on iTunes and Audible. I did the narration myself. If you want to check it out, Holiday Breakdown. Family rom-com. No cursing. Can you imagine? I wrote 286 pages. No cursing. Me, Leah. Who is she? It's a pleasure to take care of myself. I am the steward of my meat suit. I have a healthy relationship with food. I love, it's based off the trajectory of a Hallmark novel, a Hallmark Christmas movie, which if you're unfamiliar, there's essentially 2 storylines, right? Anybody like the Hallmark Christmas movies?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
So the first one is like, there's a lady, she's in the city. She works a lot.
Mm-hmm.
right? Nobody likes it. They've agreed it's too much working. They're like, we voted against this. We don't want women working anymore. And so she's coming home from work. She runs into some kind of a Santa Claus, right? It could be like a Macy's Santa Claus or a Salvation Army Santa Claus with a bell, or just like a guy named Chris who has whiskers. And he is busy on the 24th. So she runs into him and he immediately gets that she's too busy. He's like, you need to get some Christmas spirit. And she's like, Santa, I own my own washer dryer. You know what I mean? Like, I'm killing it. I can get out of both sides of my bed. That's how you know you're royalty. If your bed doesn't touch either wall. You know what I mean? You roll out of the left and right side.
No.
You're a king, a queen. And then Santa goes, you know what? You need a man. You, the viewer, at this point are insulted. You're like, Santa, she owns her own appliances. She's the CEO. She doesn't need a man. But then halfway through the movie, you're like, get her a man, Santa, and I want him by Christmas Eve. That's the first story. The second story, same lady in the city, working hard, wearing a red jacket. Just look for the lady in the red jacket. That's your protagonist. Moves home to save the family business. Now, this family business, which is seasonal, Christmas tree farm, candy cane factory, they specialize in wreath-shaped cookies. Seasonal family business supports the entire town. So she has so much pressure on her shoulders. Got to save the town and the business. She goes home. She runs into a guy that she knew in high school. They don't get along. Or another city person who's forgot the meaning of Christmas. They have to work together. They almost kiss. Then they're interrupted. Then there's a cookie baking montage. Then there's a misunderstanding. Then there's the kindness of a stranger that she puts on her red coat. She saves the town and she gets that man. Woo! I love Hallmark movies. Anyway, so I wrote a book about that.
Oh, wow.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm Leah Bonema.
Keep it going for Leah, everybody. Just in general, keep it going for lady parts. I think lady parts don't get enough applause.
I had to Google what a Fiat looked like.
It's a small car.
Yeah, it's
But a very large lady part.
Oh, it was Fiat, the little car.
Yeah. Wow. Oh, wow, everybody.
Mishearing of pronunciations on this Zoom.
Yeah, I know it's just the hotel room that's making it happen. I think that's what it is.
I have to go. Thank you guys so much for having me. It was really fun doing this.
Have a fun show,
Thanks, Peter. Have fun.
Give it up for Peter.
Don't gamble.
Happy holidays, everybody.
See you later.
Happy holidays.
Everybody, we've got one more comic for all of you. Before we get to our final comic, as you all know, this is a free stand-up comedy show, but we pay our comics money. We want them coming back each week and week after week, getting you good comics. How do we do that? From tips from people like you. Even though this is a free stand-up comedy show, how do we pay for our annual Zoom membership? From tips from people like you. How do we pay for our monthly MailChimp fee? Tips from people like you. How do we funnel money into my Cash App account that I don't tell Carrie about? Tips from people like you. You can send us some tips if you want using the email livingroomcomedy@gmail.com, or you can find us on Venmo, PayPal, or Zelle, or you can find us on Cash App at cash.app/$ Aaron Smith, all one word. Just the way my parents must have intended it. No hyphens. Come on, get out of here. If you're wondering how much is a good amount, we suggest $5 per person watching the show, $10 per person if you're having an amazing time, or $100 if you think it's the greatest show that you have ever seen, and $1 for every time you've thought about the term lady parts in the last 10 minutes.
I want you to know she's okay.
Good. That's what I was wondering. You never even told us that part. The dog's totally fine.
I literally Googled what a Fiat looks like, Leah.
She's on steroids, but she's doing great.
Yikes. All right. Well, good. Well, stay away from all kinds of bugs, big and small.
Stay away from Texas.
Just stay. That's a better statement right there. Everyone, we've got one more comic for all of you. You know her. You love her.
First, we want to thank the donors from
that's the part that I knew I was about to forget. we've got this amazing graphic that Carrie set up for us. She is sharing her screen right now. And it shows that at the A-list level, I like that name, is Evil Dave. Evil Dave coming in every week. Evil Dave, by the way, gets double A-list level. Evil Dave just bought all 3 of my holiday cards on Etsy. He just went to my new Etsy shop and he got all 3 of my digital downloads. He got them. Cyborg level is Anne and Jessica. We appreciate it. Potato level, Gordon, you'll make it next week. Don't worry. You'll get out of that potato level. And at the normal level, Carl, come on, you're not in Austin. Keep Austin weird. But you're normal. We like it, Carl. So thank you so much to everyone. If you want to get yourself on that list with those awesome levels that Carrie comes up with each week, send us some tips. You want to get to A-list level. That's, I think, the highest level for sure. Everyone, we've got one more comic for all of you. She is absolutely hilarious. She's A-list in everyone's book. We love having her. She's got the same virtual background as me, which I'm stating as a fact. She was, how about this, Carrie? She was one of the co-founders of the Pink Collar Comedy Tour.
Yes.
Toured across the nation. Absolutely hilarious, either despite or because of that virtual background. Let's hear right now for Carrie Gravenson, everybody.
Hello. Thank you. Yes, I was a co-founder of the Pink Collar Comedy Tour, which later became Cake Comedy. And do you know why we changed our name? To avoid the IRS. Yeah, but no, we were 2 names when we toured for 5 years, and it was friggin' awesome.
Woo-woo.
Before the show got started, I warned Aaron that I had a couple drinks with friends. You guys, I met my camp friends for a couple of rounds, and I hadn't seen these women one of them in over 20 years and one of them in about 15 years, and we're sitting there catching up. And one of them says, I identify as Black, but come to find out, more of my family is Native American. I have more Native American blood than I actually have like African descent blood. And I was like, that's fascinating, especially to find out later in life. That's amazing. Where is your Native blood? And she goes, we are from the Montauk tribe. And I was like, oh, so you're from Long Island? So yeah, that's how we can still be, you can still be racist as long as it's about Long Island. But yeah, that was great. And I had to warn Aaron. I was like, I've had a couple drinks. It was great to catch up with these ladies. My crypto is doing amazing. A few years ago during the pandemic, I told my mother I was buying crypto, and she said, oh no, that sounds like a stupid idea, which I hear, I understand. So to make her feel better, I put the same amount in crypto that I did in treasury bonds. US treasury bonds are supposed to be the safest investment ever. You're literally investing into the US government. I put the same amount of money into treasury bonds that I did in crypto. Which one do you think is doing better now, 3 years later? Anyone have a guess? Anyone want to guess?
Crypto.
It's the crypto, you guys. Who's the best investor? This kid. I don't know how to get either of these monies out of where they're invested, by the way.
You can't do it.
I don't know how to get
That's
it's digital. It's digital. It's on the screen. I don't know how to get the money to be useful to me, except to tell my mother that investing in Ethereum in 2021 was not a terrible idea. Peter was talking about doing a gig in a casino, and I just wanted to remind everyone that when I did Mohegan Sun, they had a little sign in the green room, and I love this concept. But it said, if anyone in the audience, it was a little sign just for the comics, just for the artists. If anyone in the audience is acting up, you point at them and you say, I could use a Pepsi, and I think this guy could use a Pepsi. And you point at the person acting up, and we'll know that we got to bounce that person because we don't serve Pepsi here. So that's our secret code for you need to get this guy out of the club and he's giving you trouble. And I was like, that is the coolest thing I've ever seen. I live in a world where I want to work in secret code. You guys, I am a spy. And I have been sheltered from my spy life. But if I say I need a Pepsi, this guy needs a Pepsi, and then some burly dudes drag that guy out of the club, are you kidding me? Yay! That is a level of power that you have given me on stage. If I'm not doing well, if my joke bombs, and let's face it, every now and then I do a joke that doesn't land. I don't know if comedians can relate, probably not relatable, but every now and then you do a joke that doesn't land. I could just say, I could use a Pepsi. I think this guy could use a Pepsi. Then they drag that guy out of there. That's funsies. I mean, that's just funsies. I'd be like, that guy needs a Pepsi. I think the wait staff needs a Pepsi.
Uh-oh.
I think this whole audience needs a Pepsi. I think the entire staff needs a Pepsi. I think the other comedians need a Pepsi. I think my 2 evil stepsisters need a Pepsi. I think everyone in my building needs a Pepsi. It's too much power. Do you see what I'm saying? You can't. I'm good for one. You can't give me that much. This is why I was not invited back to that club. You guys, I only did one time. And it was because I tried to give everyone Pepsis. I don't know if a lot of people are aware, but this is my second to last show on the Living Room Show Zoom.
What?
And this is the second to last one, 2025. You're going to be missing old Carrie. But I wanted to bring back a bit that I started doing. And it is I don't know if you guys remember, longtime listeners will remember, but I am holding in my hands this nondescript maroon book that is the Thesaurus of Humor, written in 1940. And I like to go through it every now and then and see what we thought was funny 84 years ago. And I don't bring this out often, but this is a compendium of jokes. There's 6,000 jokes in here. I think 0 of them are funny, but I have not read all of them. And Leah, would you like to give me a number between 1 and 6,000, please? And I will read that joke.
163.
All right, here's joke 163. And we're going to read it, and then we're going to muscle through what is funny about it. Now, remember, this was written in 1940. This is what was funny then. Okay. A lot of these are question and answer, call and answer kind of jokes, because I think that's what it was, like vaudeville, like call and answer kind of style jokes. So I'll read them in 2 different voices. You'll understand. My father always says he'll get them sooner or later. Sooner or later. Yeah, he's an undertaker.
It's actually a joke.
Actual joke.
All right. You know what? That wasn't so bad, right? I give that like a 6. Is that like a 6 on the comedy scale? Abby, you want to give me a number between 1 and 6,000?
12.
12?
12.
Okay. This is joke 12, and this is the Thesaurus of Humor. All right. Again, call and answer style joke. On what day were you born? Monday. What day? What date of the month? The date on which I was born. I know, but when were you born? The day after they took my mother to the hospital.
Oh, no.
That's more like it.
3 out of 10.
That doesn't even make any sense. Can you imagine seeing that on stage in a call and answer?
Maybe they get better the closer it gets to 6,000.
All right, should we read closer to the end? All right, Aaron, give me
Read
number
6,000.
No, 5,999.
Yeah, 5,999. I was way off.
All right. I might have...
Way off.
All right.
While you're looking, can you explain Undertaker to me? I didn't get it.
Undertaker is
Sooner or later, they're going to die. That's it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought it was a play on words of Undertaker, sooner and later. Anyway.
Oh,
okay.
This one's actually pretty funny.
Oh, good.
And it's not a call and answer joke. Maybe that's why. You ready? Or maybe I'll make it into a call and answer. It was so hot.
How was it?
It was so hot we fed the chickens, cracked the ice to keep them from laying hard-boiled eggs. I mean, that's pretty stupid, but I think that got that in 1940. Now, is anyone here over 84 years old and can tell us if this was hilarity in the, okay, I don't know. We just got a telegram from my wife, just had twins, more by mail. I don't understand. It's a telegram joke, but I don't get it. We don't have telegrams.
Wait, read it again.
Just got a telegram from my wife, just had twins, more by mail.
Oh, like I'll tell you the rest.
I'll tell you the rest by
sending you a full letter. Yeah. I don't have
not more babies.
More babies by mail.
no more info.
Wait, so it's a baby joke or it's a
The telegram show.
That's stupid. They should have just
Should have been
emailed.
more by stork.
They should have been zooming, am I right? More by stork.
You have to tell a Graham that joke. Thank you.
Nice. Tell a Graham that. All right, I got it.
No.
Does it hurt to mix your drinks? Not if you don't drink them.
What?
All right, I'm putting this away. I really remember why I stopped doing this. That's a terrible bit.
Get it.
Yes, I did Google what a Fiat looked like. I think if your dog's genitals look like anything other than genitals, it's alarming. I didn't know why it was specific to Fiat.
Because it's a smallish car.
But why not
car? But it's too big to be a
genital?
Yes.
Okay. So now I'm wondering if my genitals have ever looked like a Fiat.
I don't know. I haven't seen your genitals.
Well, we should fit. No, that's weird.
I mean, what was Zoom invented for?
I mean, I don't know. I truly do not know. The one time I had a colonoscopy, I was woken up when I finally came to by a doctor. Oh, wait, I'm getting the joke explained to me in chat. Several people have explained the joke to me in chat. Telegrams were paid for by the word, so you would mail someone with more words. Yes, I think I understand. It was by the letter, right? That's why they wrote stop, because you had to pay by the period. You had to pay by the sentence. So you'd write stop instead of using a period. The one time I had a colonoscopy, I was woken up by a doctor handing me a business card with a terrified look on his face. And he was just shaking his head like this, handing me a business card. And he's like, I don't know what's going on down there. You need to contact this woman. And that was it. Yeah. Because I needed surgery. I needed big bad surgery down there that the colonoscopy could not get through. So that was alarming. When you wake up from surgery, you want to, because you feel really weird waking up and you want to just be told that you're really pretty. You know, and that you did great. You did great. We didn't find anything wrong. Here's some graham crackers. Also, you're extraordinarily attractive. Like, that's what you want to hear waking up from surgery. You don't want to be handed a business card from, that tells you to go to a doctor in Flushing because she's the only one who can fix your crazy butt. Every now and then that happens. I am in the midst of going through root canal surgery. I am almost to the coronation. I will have a crown. A crown is coming soon to tooth number 3. That's this one. And the reason I'm showing it off is because if I want to put $3,000 worth of work into my face, I need people to see it. So this is the before shot. See it? It's this tooth. See how it looks all busted? It's going to look like a real tooth in 2 weeks. And that is a $3,000 bill that I never thought I would not be able to show off. That is like about half the cost of getting my actual teeth straightened. Like Invisalign is like roughly $6,000 or $7,000, but I don't need Invisalign. I need to have the. I looked up during
my beautiful crown.
I need to have a crown. I looked up during my root canal to see the guy doing it. and I had kept my eyes closed for a lot of the time just because I think it's less awkward for everyone involved if I close my eyes during root canal, right? I don't know how people do it, but I happened to open them and I looked up at the dentist and the drill was in my mouth and he was talking to the hygienist and not looking at my mouth. The drill was in there. There was I don't know if it was technically a drill, but there was some sort of device in my mouth. And I looked up and he was talking to the other chick. And I thought, oh, that's not good. You gotta look at my mouth directly. So I'm putting that on tape. Because when I wear this crown, I'm going to wear it really proudly. And if it looks bunky, I know who to blame. I've been chewing on my left side. I told my teeth, chew on the left side. That is easy for my teeth to remember. They know that it hurts on my right side. Chew on the left side. Easy. We got it. I got it. My teeth got it. My body understands it. You know who didn't get the memo? My tongue. My tongue doesn't understand. I said, tongue, chew on the left side. Tongue is like, do you mean your left or stage left? Because I have a system of moving food around your mouth, and I'm not going to let you tell me how to do my job. I'm going to end my set on the tongue bit. You guys give it up for Aaron Kominos-Smith.
Keep it going for Carrie, everybody.
Yeah.
Clap it up for all the amazing comics that we have had on this show, for Peter, for Abby, for Leah, and clap it up for yourselves for being an amazing audience. Thank you guys so much.
Also, there is no KO comedy tonight. Just
no KO comedy, everybody.
No KO tonight.
But we will be back next week. You can catch us next week. I believe they will be back next week. And then that'll be our last show for the year. If you are looking for holiday cards, I just put that link to my Etsy shop that has officially launched. You can get your digital downloads of my cards. I've got some limited hard copies that I just got in the mail. And then surprisingly, a few days after I bought those, that credit card is the number that got stolen. So who knows? Maybe that's how they got the number. I don't know. I guess they were like, well, Merry Christmas to all of us. And they used my card.
That's why it was PayPal.
That was me.
Yeah, the carriage took the card number. Yeah, you can go ahead and click on that link. And yeah, we'll hang out for a few more moments. You guys, you are so much fun. Thank you guys so much. Have a great week. Have a great weekend. Have a great night. Have everything be great. You are so much fun. Good night, everybody. Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you, everybody.